Are you thinking about making the switch from Trello to Notion, but you're not really sure if what you've created in Trello is going to translate well into Notion? Well, I'm in the process of doing the same thing myself, and while some things are proving to be a little more difficult than others, my Business Command Center, my most popular template in Trello, is working great, and it's got even more enhanced features in Notion. So let me show you how they compare side by side, and you can decide which one is going to work better for you. And make sure you stick around to the end where you'll learn how you can grab a template for one or both of them. So I have done a more in-depth look at the Trello version of the Command Center before. So I'll make sure to link that above and below in the description so that you can go check out that full video if you want. And to give you a better understanding of what I mean by Business Command Center. So you may have seen around, especially when it comes to Notion videos and tutorials, people throwing around the word second brain. This is kind of like that, but not quite as in depth. So the way I treat this is kind of like my dashboard or my cockpit for where I start each day when I'm working in my business. It's super important to me that it's easy to find things, easy to navigate, but also that it is just as mobile friendly as it is desktop friendly because I work from anywhere and everywhere, and I'm sure you do too. So let's go ahead and start with the Trello version of the Command Center, which is what I've been using for the past couple of years. So as you can see, I've got quite a few things on here, but they are all things that are either set up to remind me of something so that I don't forget stuff, or to be easily accessible no matter where I am. So just a quick tour here. I've got my on-the-go resources, which includes things like my brand brief, which looks like this, as well as I have links that I regularly need, files, logos, that sort of thing. My hot list is what I call my urgent to-do list. So this is like what I need to do today. My recurring tasks for daily, weekly, and monthly, as well as some resources where I like to do my brain dumps and things like that. So this is just a high level understanding. If you've been in Trello before, you already know how this works, right? Each of these cards has a certain amount of information on it. You can link attachments to make certain things easy to access. So for example, me wanting to exercise, I have access to YouTube links and stuff like that for videos that I like to do regularly at home, things like that. I also have a checklist here so that I can check things off as I do them. This is part of my habit tracker process, which I also will link above and below so that you can go check that out if you want to. That's a whole other video, but that's where I automated my habit tracking system a la James Clear's Atomic Habits. But all of these cards are essentially very similar to that. They have, especially if they're a recurring task, they have a date on them. They automatically update the date based on the rules that I've set in the automation and that sort of thing. So like I said, there's a whole video that'll go deeper into this so that you can see it. But I just wanted to give you a high level view of this is what a Trello board command center looks like. Now, when it came to translating this into Notion, I wasn't really sure what to do at first. My first thought was, oh, I'll just create a database that's card view and just make it look exactly the same. But the thing is, what's the point of doing that if I'm just going to replicate it exactly the same way in a different system, right? There needs to be something about it that is different or enhancements of the features or something to make it worth my while switching into systems. So let me show you what I've got. So the first thing you're going to notice is that this looks very different, right? This looks more like a website almost, which is one of the things that I love about Notion. You can see that I was able to customize and create a fun collage cover up here, which is similar to what I did with the background on the Trello board, but you have to be kind of careful with the background of a Trello board not to make it too busy because it is literally behind everything. And so it is going to kind of make everything look a little more cluttered. Whereas here, because it's up at the top, it's going to go away as I scroll down, right? And so it's not really as important to keep it as kind of clean. One of the things that I love about Notion in general is this concept of the toggle headings and toggle lists. I learned this trick from another YouTuber who does Notion templates. They were talking about how you can take your, his version of a command center. I forget what he called it, but his version of a command center and, make it more usable on mobile. So one of the things that's important to remember is that columns don't really translate to mobile, right? So everything that you see in a column here, you'd have to scroll through in order to see it on your mobile phone. And for me, if you've been around for a while, you've seen how important it is to me to be able to interact very effectively on a mobile device. So using these toggles allows you to be able to collapse these things so that ultimately your scrolling is way, way, way lessened, right? But you can still fit so much on that page. Another thing that's really cool with Notion is this idea of table of contents. So when you create a heading on your page, meaning like a heading type, not just paragraph text, if you've set up a table of contents, it will actually turn it into a clickable link. So for example, these are going to just take me right here because it's right there. Let's say I needed to get all the way to my profit and loss statement from my phone or even from my computer. I can simply click right here and it takes me straight there, no matter how much I have in between. And that to me was huge. One thing that Notion does not yet have, and I have expressed my desire for this to them, and hopefully I'm not alone in that, and they will eventually add it, but they do have reminders, and they do have now recurring tasks. What they don't yet have is recurring tasks with reminders. And that's why I'm still kind of a little bit between Trello and Notion using both, because I thrive on reminders. So those are still coming to me from Trello, but I'm doing most of the work and tracking it through Notion. So not going to get into all the details here, but because I wanted to build out my automated habit tracker in Notion as well as the one I did in Trello, these little icons here are buttons that when I click them, you'll see it says one page edited. That actually went and edited my habit tracker, daily tracker to say, oh, I exercised today, right? That's a whole other video, but just wanted to show you that functionality is still existing here within Notion. Did take a lot more setup. Well, I don't know if I would say a lot more setup, but because I'm still getting used to Notion, it took me longer to set up than the Trello habit tracker did. Another thing that I love about Notion is the fact that I was able to actually embed the videos right here. There's actually a video playlist that I've curated for myself for a number of videos that I like to do regularly, and it's easy access. Now, to be fair, some of them will not play through Notion. I don't know if that's like a licensing thing or I'm not really sure why, but some of them will play straight here in Notion, so I don't even have to leave my page. And by the way, if you don't know Yoga with Adrienne, like, who are you? Because she's amazing. Anyway, so it gives me super easy access to all those exercise videos without even having to leave the app or the page that I'm on. I did the same thing with productivity boosters. And this is something that I would not have been able to create in Trello in a way that it would have played within the same platform. I could have linked to these things perhaps, but it still would have been bouncing back and forth, which wasn't really ideal for what I'm trying to do. So I've got my productivity boosters so that if I am sitting on this page and working on something else, writing or whatever it might be, I can just play music from here. I do love Pomodoro productivity sessions, and I especially love the Harry Potter ones. I'm not going to tell you which house I am, but if you want to take a guess, let me know in the comments which house you think I am. But I can click that right here and just get right to work, and it'll play straight from here, which comes in really handy with my content creation. They link straight to the other page that I am actually tracking things on. So, and you can see I've got my productivity mix here too, because you just never know what page you're going to be on, right? So you might as well link it in both places. As we move further down, you can see I've got recurring revenue streams where this is where I have like affiliate links and things like that. And then I also have my on-the-go resources. If you remember, this was the first list on the Trello board. Now I have two kind of like business avenues that I work under. I have my Tech Savvy Academy, which is TSA. And then I collaborate with another business owner, and we have our It Takes a Village and Success Through community that we have. So I have on-the-go resources for both right here at my fingertips. So I can click right into this. And this one, I decided to do a page for all of my hex codes for my brand colors. I also have logos and images and some bios that I've pre-written so that I can easily grab them. And then for It Takes a Village, I ended up just wanting to really have the different images and logos that we use, as well as the brand colors. And you can see the hex codes are right there. Not copy pastable, but I can easily grab them and type them in, right? So that's super handy. I included also here a special place for if I want to do a brain dump and things like that. So I can do that right here. I've also got my Always Be Learning, which links to all of my reading notes and things like that when I'm reading books for the podcast or just for myself. And then I have another section that I'm planning on using as a place to link all of my active client notes. I haven't really done that yet, but that's kind of something that I'm working towards in the future, as well as a link straight to my profit and loss tracker. So as you can see, I'm able to do all of the same things within my Notion Business Command Center that I had in my Trello Command Center, and then some, right? Having the ability to have my productivity playlists there and have my exercise videos right there and easily accessible. Being able to add those directly in Notion where they're interactable right there versus the way I had it in Trello where it was just a quick like bookmark to it is, it seems like a little thing, but it is kind of a game changer when you don't have to click in and out of different programs and different platforms all the time. I really, really like that. So if you're interested in test driving either one or both of these command centers, I'll make sure to link them in the description so that you can grab them and play around. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated or overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy.